Hello, teachers, parents, and educational leaders, and welcome to this episode of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T. Now, during this episode, you will get a peek into the members-only area where I have tons of resources to help you make math fun, make it click, and make it stick. There should be a link somewhere around this video where you can learn more. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to it, and let's break down the standard. Welcome to Breaking Down the B.E.S.T, a video series dedicated to breaking down Florida's best standards for math. So grab something to write with and maybe even a snack. This looks good. And don't forget to put a smile on your face. There you go. I see you. And let's dive into today's best standard. Hey everyone. My name is Sarah McCarthy and I am so excited that you are joining me as we break down the following standard. Today's standard is MA.4.GR.2.2 and this standard says to solve problems involving rectangles with the same perimeter and different areas, or with the same area and different perimeters. Here, for the example, it says possible dimensions of a rectangle with an area of 24 square feet include a 6 feet by 4 feet or 8 feet by 3 feet. This can be found by cutting a rectangle into unit squares and rearranging them, which is true. I said that this was an interesting example compared to the instructional items because it's simple, 24 square meters, but you can see it when we get down to the benchmark clarifications. You'll notice it says that I could have products up to 3 digits times 2 digits, which makes it a lot more intensive a problem than simply a 6 by 4 or 3 by 8 rectangle. Okay. By the way, this document that I am marking up all over is not something that I created. Nope. This is something that the Florida Department of Education releases to the public. And in these Breaking Down the B.E.S.T episodes, I'm just showing you how I break down the standards using the resources that they have provided in order to create the resources that are available to you in your Taking on the B.E.S.T membership. So we'll break down the standard, and then in the second half of this video, I will show you what resources you have access to. All right, so benchmark clarifications. It says that this is focusing on a conceptual understanding of the relationship between area and perimeter. I like that they're mentioning a relationship there because I think that we've, in the past, are just isolating the two skills, area and perimeter. And now in this one, we're showing how they're connected. When you stretch out a rectangle, how that changes the perimeter and changes the area. Within this benchmark, rectangles are limited to having whole number side lengths, no fractions, no decimals. We already talked about the products, and then if we have anything with division, that would be 4 digits divided by 1 digit. With related benchmarks, we've got NSO.2.2 and 2.3 for 4th grade. Those are our multiplication standards. 2.4 is the division standard, and 2.5 is using estimation and to multiply and divide. MA.4.GR.2.2 is the multiplication and division of word problems. We will definitely have word problems in this setting, so that definitely applies. Students need to know perimeter is the distance around a shape or the length of it around. Where are they coming from in 3rd grade? Well, they had MA.3.GR.2.3, which involved real-world problems with perimeter and area. There's also another standard for 4th grade, the one right before this, GR.2.1, which flows nicely into this standard as well. I'm not sure why they didn't mention it, so let's go ahead and just jot that one down too, shall we? So let's not forget MA.4.GR.2.1 also connects and aligns with this one. In 5th grade, 5.GR.2.1, students will find the area and perimeter of rectangles that have fractional and decimal side lengths. Because we spend a lot of time with fractions and decimals in 5th grade, that's a nice segue into perimeter and area at the 5th grade level there. For the purpose and instructional strategies section, I'll just point out some of the things that jumped out at me. It says that the purpose of this benchmark is for students to understand the relationship between perimeter and area. Students will explore situations where the multiple shapes have the same area and different perimeters, or vice versa, the same perimeters and different areas. This supports the standard right before, which we already mentioned, MA.4.GR.2.1. There it is. Instruction will help students to begin to generalize that when working with rectangles with the same area, squares will have the smallest perimeter. And for common misconceptions, it says that students may believe that a rectangle with a large perimeter must also have a large area. Then we have an instructional task as an example to see what the standard looks like in action. It says that Steve has 600 feet of fencing. This is a real-world situation, and he's trying to figure out how to build the fence so that he has a rectangle with the greatest square footage inside the fence. So you have to mess around with the dimensions to figure out what those dimensions could be and what the area would be. And I thought this was a very thought-provoking question there. And then here, I also thought that this one was kind of intense. It says that Skylar built a rectangular table for her dollhouse. The area of the table is 105 square inches, and the side lengths are whole number inches. What are some possible perimeters for the table? So I said, whoa, first of all, we have to find all the factors of 105. And then use those factors to determine the perimeter and see if it is one of these options there. All right, so here we are at the home page. We're going to click Members Enter here. Select Taking on the Best. Working in 4th grade. And the strand that we want is the GR strand, Geometric Reasoning. And we are looking at right here, MA.4.GR.2.2, the area and perimeter, same and different. The first level that you are brought to is the bronze level. These are where your video lessons and printable student guides are. So this video lesson, we've got 2 different video lessons. The first video is rectangles that have the same perimeter but different areas. And then in the next one, it's rectangles with the same areas but different perimeters. And then students can just copy their notes on these printable pages. The purpose of these video lessons is to make it fun and to make it click, for students to be able to have notes that they can use to complete extra practice problems that will be available in the silver plan. So let's click that. When we go here, we'll just click here for your printables in the silver plan. And first we have the video lesson that we just saw in the bronze plan. And then when we go here, you'll see that the extra practice page is just like what we did in the video lesson. So it says 2 rectangles are shown below. Find the perimeters and areas of each. Then describe what you notice when you compare their perimeters and area. Create another rectangle with the same perimeter as the rectangles above, but with a different area. Then there's the next video lesson. And then extra practice that goes along with what they just did in the video lesson. Then we have a math mission. These are math tasks. This one has 2 parts to it. The first one says to draw 3 different rectangles, each with an area of 48 square meters. Label the dimensions of each rectangle. Using your 3 different rectangles, describe how the perimeters change as these side lengths change. So again, showing that relationship between area and perimeter. And then the last activity in the silver plan is the Math Misconception Mystery video. So you'll just click right here, click play, and I will guide your students through the whole thing, the whole process. First, students will complete this problem either on their own or with a small group. Draw 2 rectangles that have the same area but different perimeters. After they have done this on their own, they'll watch as 4 characters do the same. 3 of those characters, however, are going to make a mistake that students commonly make, and only one of them is correct. So students will be able to watch it, decide, justify who has the correct answer, the most reasonable answer. And then in their detective report, they'll write that up. Who has the most reasonable answer? And let's help out and evaluate the work of the others. These are a lot of fun for students. Once you start implementing Math Misconception Mystery episodes, you are not going to be able to go back because your students are going to beg you for more, okay? Oh, and you have your answer keys right there too. If you have the gold plan, you can click here and you have access to everything that we've gone over, plus this mini assessment aligned strategically to this standard. You can see a variety of question types. Okay, And then you also have the answer key. These episodes of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T are right here with going over all the resources and the standard. It's a nice perk for being a gold member to have it all right here. It is ad-free as well. On YouTube, if you find these videos on YouTube, they contain ads. So it's just a nice little perk of being a gold member. However, the main highlight of having the gold plan is access to McCarthy Math 155, which is a daily math intervention that's aligned to the Common Core standards. I know it says Common Core, and I know that in Florida we are taking on the B.E.S.T standards. However, if you've had some experience with both sets of standards, you know that there are a lot of similarities. So click here, and the 155, that stands for 155 video lessons to help boost the confidence level of your students and help them to really get those skills under their belt. You can see all the different units available. And right here in Unit 10, we have perimeter and area. This is more about finding the perimeter and finding the area. Not quite as intense as what we are doing in the B.E.S.T standards, but it's a great resource to have if you have students who just need practice finding the perimeter and finding the area. Just going to scroll so you can see. No problems, all of that. So there's a bunch of different videos. There are actually 13 video lessons inside of this unit that you can use for extra practice. And I think that is it for going over the standard and the resources that you have access to. So I hope that you found that to be helpful. Before we go, I just want to remind you that what you choose to wake up and do every day with your life, it really does matter. I want to thank you so much for stepping into the leadership role that you have to help your students become the best version of themselves. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you for inviting me into your educational space. I truly love being able to support you and your students and put some time back into your pocket. And speaking of time, I know that you're busy, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go and get back to all the things that you need to do. And I will see you in the next episode really soon, okay? Bye. Okay, so I know that I just said goodbye for now, but I'm gonna ask you to do one more thing, okay? If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your teacher friends or other leaders in education. That's how I get to continue doing what I love to do, which of course is supporting you all to the best of my ability. All right, for real now. Bye.